fall has finally arrived here in Georgia, and I'm ready to get after it. We're on a farm here in North Georgia that my buddy Sean and I have managed and hunted over the past 10 years. Over the past few years, I just haven't had a chance to hunt it that much, but historically, there's always been a few nice bucks that show up year after year. This year, I made it a priority to hunt this property early in the season, and I've got some high hopes. This is what some people might consider a suburban piece of property. In reality, it's an old horse farm that's nestled in North Georgia suburbia, and it's really a hidden gem. Due to that, the deer around here tend to be pretty nocturnal. That's why I have to rely so much on these cellular cameras to let me know when these deer are daylighting and help me plan out my hunts. I started to get some pictures on camera early in September, and a few of these bucks look really promising. Hey, the deer finally starting to show up in the daylight. It's time to get in the blind.
Look at that big old rascal there.
Last light, last night, getting it done. Early season bow hunting here in Georgia is officially kicked off. We're a couple days after opening day and opening weekend. One of our shooter bucks was out in front of the blind at 6:30 last night. The moon is good. Look, it's hot this time of year. We're sweating our butts off, but the deer are on their feet. We're back in the blind with the bow, hunting deer. It doesn't get much better than this. Stick with us. These deer are right on time. Of course, we find the one doe that wants to ruin it for everybody. Look, I don't care if it's day one. I'm not afraid to let a doe out if she keeps acting stupid. That doe got lucky tonight. She comes back and does all that mess again tomorrow, we're gonna do something about it. Day two. Let's see if we can make it happen here in Georgia. Early season bow hunting.
Got the feeling in your bones, make you feel right at home. Honey, does it well, keep me dancing till I'm dead. 'Cause I could run a mile like this, head over heels feels like this. The sun has got me on my track, I ain't never looking back. I ain't looking
has no sway in his back, and his belly's flat, straight across. And when you see one of these other bucks, there'll be no comparison.
The evening didn't wrap up like we had hoped. We had some great encounters, such a pretty night. We truly thought one of these big mature bucks were gonna show up tonight. We had deer start to show up at about 7 o'clock, and we saw the one buck that I thought might have been a shooter based on the pictures, you know, in the dark when he was in velvet, and he just rubbed off. And real pretty deer. You know, he's just young. He's max 3 years old, and we just don't want to shoot these younger bucks because we know we've got some older mature bucks on this farm. So you know what, a great encounter. What we're gonna do is probably wrap up the early season because we got to start traveling. We'll come back here to the Georgia farm mid to late October into November. And the beautiful thing about this farm is there's no telling what shows up that time of year. We could have totally new bucks show up. We've had giants show up before, but nonetheless, we're gonna get back after it in about 3 or 4 weeks and get one of these Georgia bucks on the ground. So stick with us. We're not done here in Georgia. There's more to come. The weather's getting cooler here in North Georgia. The days are getting shorter, the deer activity's picking up, and now it's time to get out in the blind.
This is one of my favorite times of the year, October going into November in Georgia. The leaves are just starting to change. The weather's cooling down in the evening. You can probably hear the band in the background. It's Friday night. We got some football games going around this area, and we got some good bucks we're chasing. So fingers crossed, hopefully we can get one of these big Georgia bucks on the ground tonight or this weekend. That's one of our bucks. That's one of our shooters. We're gonna shoot this deer. He's coming right. Good? Come on. Kill him. Kill him. Yes, brother, I think we just made a great shot on one of our bucks that we wanted to shoot. A real wide buck. Just a pretty Georgia buck. You can give it a few minutes. Go check that arrow and go find our deer. Good job, brother. You did it. Yes. Got good blood. I'm sending Billy a picture of a bloody arrow. Team B is on the board. Let's go trail this deer, Ryder. There he is, buddy. He's wide, man. He's pretty. We got it done tonight. A great Georgia buck. Super pleased with this deer.
You know what, the thing is we were holding out. We hunted in September and we just didn't find the deer we were looking for. And we started to see this buck just showing up here recently, and we had an opportunity to get it done right before dark, and I just couldn't pass it up. First Georgia buck on the ground, and we got one more tag to fill. Bill, pressure's on, my friend down in Florida. You better get it done, buddy.